So here's a quick tip for getting unstuck. If you're four-wheeling, you got an open diff. I was just watching a few videos on YouTube. A bunch of stuff came up on people, I don't know why, but getting stuck in four-wheel drives and open diffs, and people complaining about it. One guy was complaining about a Dodge, had an open diff, he said up front and in the rear, and he'd gotten stuck, had one side buried in some pretty soft, muddy type soil. Wasn't just straight up mud, but and he's done with that open diff at that point. But we figured something out, me and a guy that I went to school with back in the 70s. And me and him figured it out first there. We were in his dad's truck. It was an old Chevy truck with a straight six-cylinder in it, two-wheel drive, open diff in the rear. We were going up Pine Valley, long story short, which is pretty much a four-wheel drive trail. But it's one of them deals where you go up about 40, 50 foot, and then you'd hit a landing, about an 18-foot landing that was flat, and then you'd four-wheel on up another 40, 50, 60 foot, hit another landing. But we got up a couple of the landings, two-wheel drive truck, and the left side buried. Right before landing, we started to go up a landing. It had been a little bit of rain, washed out, and was kind of soft, and we started to go up that next run there, and it just buried that left side. So we got out of the truck, and we were standing there looking at it, and him on what the hell we were going to do. And you're up in the mountains, there's nobody else around. You're not doing much from there if you don't have a winch or something along that line. So we ended up getting into this big debate, and I don't remember which one of us thought of it first, but it was like, well, the tire's just sitting there spinning, and the other side was sitting on a rock. It was like, if we get this other damn side to kick in, we're out. So we were out of the truck, and we were sitting there thinking about it, and we started talking about, well, the one side's turning. What if we click the e-brake down, just a click or two, to where it just starts dragging on it? And I was like, yeah, well, that's going to build, that'll be friction then. That'll build heat on the brake shoe. Well, theoretically, it ought to lock that side up, right? We ended up in this 10, 15-minute discussion about it, and I was like, well, shit, there's only one way to find out. So jumped in, fired the truck back up, got the tire spinning a little off what it just sat there and spin without giving any gas, let the clutch out, and it just sat there at idle speed. Gave it a little bit of gas, brought the motor up to maybe 1,000 RPM. It tops. Clicked that e-brake down a couple times. Boy, she got hot within 15, 20 seconds. That side locked up, bam, the other side kicked in on that rock, and whew, off we went. So just a quick tip, you got an open diff. I've used that 6-8 times now through 45 years in my life, and it's worked every time that I've been stuck in a two-wheel drive with an open diff. Just click the e-brake down once or twice, let that tire spin on up. It gets hot from the friction, builds heat right away. The side that's spinning immediately locks up. Bam, the other side kicks in. Off you go. Good little trick, man. That's that particular time, twice going up there in that same vehicle. We ended up doing that to get unstuck, but it saved me several times. And if you're up in the mountains, there's nobody around, and what the hell else are you going to do? So, and this was back in the, it might have been 1980 or 81. Ain't no cell phones or none of that shit. You ain't calling nobody. You ain't doing nothing but walking. You're either figuring something out or you're walking. So that's worked really good, though. Just a quick trick there for anybody else. You're out four-wheeling, got that open diff. Just click that e-brake a couple times. The one side will build heat, kick in the other side, and it's worked every time for me, like I said. So everybody be safe.